Pretty much the paperwork has been agreed and signed, and Gloucester have agreed to release him in the last couple of hours. He rang me to let me know, to give me that information, just to say thanks very much for his time in the World Cup and how much he enjoyed it and what has happened for him with Welsh rugby. He said he's 22. He's always dreamed of potentially playing in the NFL. He's always been a huge fan of it, and he feels that if he doesn't take that opportunity now, then it might not happen for him in the future. So, I just wish them all the best, and we've always been a great believer in players taking sort of the opportunities that could get presented for them and those sort of chances. And just said, look, if it doesn't work out for you, what are your next steps? And he said, look, I'll come back to rugby. So he just feels there's an opportunity for him and a time for him to do that. So there's never a dull moment in Welsh rugby.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Howzit? Welcome to my Afrikaans-speaking followers. I do apologize. There was no pre-game video last week. Well, there was a pre-game video, but I ended up not uploading it because I ended up being like an 8-minute rant about English rugby, and I'm trying to not do those kind of things this year because I sound really crazy when I go on some of them. So, it's why I stopped talking about a particular league, because I couldn't stop going on rants about that league. So that's why I didn't post it. But here we are. Obviously, the breaking news. I get up this morning and it's everywhere. Rees-Zammit, the 22-year-old Welsh player, winger and fullback, has said, deuces, I'm going to go try and chase my NFL dreams. And I've seen all kinds of comments on it. And I mean, I've even seen like some pretty stupid memes like this right here. I'm not going to say where I got that from, but you probably can figure it out. And it really, getting online and seeing people saying stuff like, so I think because I live here in America, I have been this background. Yeah, this is the Dallas Cowboys stadium. Seats over 100,000. Yes, they sell it out for every game. As somebody that lives here in this country, I'm not a big NFL fan. I'm more of a collegiate football fan, but I do know the game. I don't watch it nearly as much as I used to, just because I like rugby and Saturdays are for rugby. So, but I do know a lot about the game. I know the positions, I know the players, I know the schemes, all that kind of stuff. Because when you grow up in this part of the world, you learn about all that stuff. Football in Texas is a religion. Like, that's not a lie. It's a religion here. You grow up playing it, you play it in high school, you play it in college, you try to play pro. The boys play football, the girls are cheerleaders, the dads grow up and coach the boys to be football players. That's how it is. It is a religion here. There are high school stadiums here that look like professional stadiums in Europe. If I could post a couple of them, I'll post a couple. Yeah, that's a high school stadium. Yeah. Another one. That's a high school stadium. Yeah. That's a college stadium. That's actually the one here in Denton. That's Apogee Stadium here in Denton, Texas. But yeah, like, it's a religion here, and it's very, very big. And I'm seeing a lot of people's opinions on it and whatnot. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to weigh in as somebody that lives in this country, that knows the game. And I've made comments in a few things, and we'll talk about this. So let's go ahead and talk about really what he's actually going to do. He's not going to come over here and just try out for a team. Back in 2017, the NFL instituted what is called the International Player Pathway Program. And what this was to design a pathway for players outside of US and Canada to come and play in the NFL. And there's been quite a few players that have done it. A couple of Germans, a couple of Aussies, couple of Brits have done it. The only real Brit of notice that I saw was Alex Gray. He played for Newcastle and the London Irish and also played for Bath. He made the practice squad in Atlanta for 3 years, 2019 to 2021. He made a practice squad. That was the best he did. Now, you do have a lot of these guys that do make the league. Yeah, they're Nigerians. So with that being said, let's talk about the game, and we'll talk about the positions, and we'll talk about what could possibly Louis Rees-Zammit do in American football. So I'm going to pop this image up on the screen, and we'll leave this up for a moment. So these are all the positions for the offense and defense of a standard scheme in American football. The offense is in red, the defense is in blue. Obviously, you'll see some of these titles. You have the QB, that's the quarterback, that's Tom Brady. You have a running back. Sometimes you have a running back and a fullback, but in the modern era of the NFL, you have two running backs usually. You have the guys on the outside. Those are called the wide receivers. You've got the tight end. That's usually the tallest guy on the team. That's the 6'5" guy usually. You've got tackles, guards, and centers. The center's job is to hike the ball to the quarterback. Then you flip side on the opposite side of the coin there. You have the CBs, which are the outside. Those are called cornerbacks. You have the two S's, which are in the back. Those are called safeties. Then you have the linebackers. You usually have a middle linebacker and two linebackers. Then you have the defensive ends and the defensive tackles. Okay? So these are all the positions on a football team. So the X's are positions that there's no way he could play. And you'd be like, why? Well, because typically the guys on the offensive and defensive line are going to be well over 300 pounds. So there's just no way. Quarterback, he's not going to be a quarterback. He's not going to be able to throw a ball with the kind of accuracy that a quarterback needs to. Tight end, once again, he's 6'3", 190 pounds. He's not 6'5". He's not tall enough and big enough to play tight end. Which leaves on the offense, the wide receivers and the running back. Then you look on the defensive side of the ball, it would leave the cornerbacks and the safeties. He's just not big enough to play a linebacker or a defensive tackle. He just doesn't have the same size. We're looking at guys like Ray Rice, guys that are maybe the same height as him, but a good 60 to 70 pounds larger. He doesn't have the physical size to play those positions. The ones that I've X'd out, he does not have the physical size to play them. It's just not going to happen. Or he doesn't have the skill sets. He has the size to play quarterback. He does not have the skill sets to play a quarterback. Okay? So you look at, obviously, running back. This is what we've seen an Englishman come and do. He did score, actually, a touchdown. I'm trying to remember. Gray? Was that Gray who did that? Yeah. Never in a real game. He's 6'3", so he's a bit tall to be a running back. Where it's going to hurt him is he's 190 pounds. And this ain't rugby. You don't have to tackle from the waist to the chest. Now, you can't do helmet-on-helmet tackles. You can't clothesline people. But a 300-pound guy with a helmet on goes into your side, into your rib cage. It don't matter how much of a rib blocker you have. That shit's going to hurt. Or a 300-pound guy falls on your ankle. Yeah. Okay. He would have to bulk up, which means he would get slower. So running back is a far prospect. Then you go out to the wide receivers. These are going to be guys like Michael Irvin back in the 90s, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. Yes, I know I'm aging myself. I mean, I've got on a Roger Staubach jersey, for Christ's sake. But these are going to be your wide receivers. Now, he could do this. The problem is that at his skill sets, he's not going to be a 1. So you have a 1-2, and you have a slot receiver. His best option would be a slot receiver. A slot receiver usually lines up just to the right of the tight end or to the left on the opposite side of the line, and they run cross routes. What you mean by a cross route is, see if I can point at it over here. You're going to, instead of going out, you're going to go across. That's what you're going to do. Now, the problem with that is the guy that you're lining up against has been playing football for 20 plus years. He's going to know he's going to know more than you no matter what. They call it an FBI, a football IQ, or football intelligence. Louis Rees-Zammit has no football intelligence right now. None. He's going to be lining up against guys that have been playing since they were 4 years old. In the same way that if he took them to a rugby pitch, they'd be screwed because they've never played. So then that leaves the offense. Now we'll go to the defensive side of it. The cornerback, your job is to disrupt a wide receiver. Okay. You're not allowed to touch or impede the receiver until the ball is damn near thrown at him, to him, or you'll get a pass interference call. It's going to be a bit difficult for a rugby player to do that. It's going to be a bit difficult. And once again, he's going to be lining up against guys that have been doing this their entire lives. Then you've got the safety. Guy in the back. This is the last line of defense. You got to play zone. Zone meaning you're either waiting for the pass, you're looking for the run. Zone defenses will slow down faster wide receivers. If you don't have a cornerback that can keep up, you play zone defense. This is the only position that I could see Rees-Zammit having any, if any, success at, but he's going to struggle. Because he's going to be going against guys, once again, that have been doing this for 20 plus years and are much bigger than him and are much faster than him. So this whole idea that he's leaving Welsh rugby to come play in the NFL is laughable at best. He's going to try to play in the NFL. Now, I think a lot of people, I guess the thing that really needs to be said about all of this is Welsh Rugby Union in that bad of a position to where a 22-year-old up and comer is saying, deuces, I want to go play American football. I think that's more of a red flag at how bad. And we knew when Warren Gatlin came back in, the players' strike, everything, we knew Welsh rugby was in trouble. Okay, we all knew that. This is a sign of how bad. This is a sign of how bad. Now, I think the opinion has been, look, Wells knows they're going to finish at the bottom of the pool in the Six Nations. He's getting out while he can. They got 4 years until the next World Cup. He's going to go try and make coin somewhere else. I have seen very few rugby players play both at a decent level. I've brought him up in old videos. Paul Lasike played at BYU. He's originally from New Zealand, played at BYU, plays for the USA Eagles, plays domestically in the league here, did play a bit in the Premiership. And they like to bring it up. Oh, former Chicago Bear. He was never more than really a minor player for them. He was always meant to play rugby. He was never really meant to be a football player, a professional football player. And like I said, you could think what you want about it. They stop and start every 30 seconds, and that's cool and that's fine, but it's a completely different sport, guys. It's nothing like rugby. It takes none of the skill sets that rugby has. There's pieces of it. Yes, there's bits running with a ball. Yeah, that's common, but that's not the only way you can move a ball. It can be thrown forward. It can be carried forward. Your quarterback can carry it. Your running back can carry it. Hell, even your wide receiver can carry it at times. And it is a completely different game. And when you're lining up against boys who've been playing it since they were 4 and 5 years old, it's going to be a very difficult learning curve for him, regardless of what a great athlete he is, because he is. He's a great rugby player. 22 years old. He's a great rugby player. But this whole idea that he's leaving and coming straight to the NFL is laughable at best. Because it's just not going to happen. Just like I played ice hockey for most of my young life. I couldn't walk in. Because I played ice hockey doesn't mean I could walk into the Russian national team and get a spot. No, I'm not good enough. I think it's an interesting idea and it's a cool concept and it's got people talking, but I think the real thing we should be talking about is why is an upstart, one of their best young players, saying, deuces, I'm out? I think we need to talk a little bit more about what's going on with Welsh rugby than we do about, oh, this guy's going to play in the NFL. Let me know what you guys think, man. I know that I did a video a while back where I made an entire rugby team out of NFL football players. I'll see if I can post the link to it or a hot link to it so you guys can watch it. But yeah, like it's funny, it's interesting, and like I said, I'm not crapping on the Oak for having a dream, but the idea that he's going to walk into the NFL is laughable at best because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think at best he gets over here, goes to a few combines, works out with a few coaches. He at best could make a practice squad, but I don't even think that would happen, honestly. I'm thinking that this might be his way of telling Welsh Rugby Union, you're in trouble. And I'm going to show you how much trouble you're in by I'm going to go leave and try and play American football. I guess on a last note on that, are there any rugby players that I think would be a great football players? Yeah, Jonah Lomu would have made a hell of a fullback. No question. 6'5", yeah, he would have made a hell of a fullback. There's a lot of rugby kickers that would do well. I think Dan Carter would have done just fine until he got hit by a guy with a helmet. Then he would have been in trouble. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. I know there's a lot of other commentators commenting on this whole situation, and I think maybe with me having more of an American accent, it probably comes a little bit different because I don't, like I said, at best, I think he makes a practice squad. I don't even think he does that. I don't even think he does that because I don't even think with his skill sets, he could probably play college football here because you have to be a guy that played it your whole life to get to that level. But you guys let me know what you think and let me know in the comment section, and we'll talk again real soon, guys. Cheers.